taking his time. Hey, there we are. There we are. Hello, everybody. Hi. Hi,
Hi.
friends. So I'm gonna open this finally and get started. It's like Christmas. Yay! Oh, it's got paper and everything. It is like Christmas. Yay! What the hell is that?
It's your wife texting me.
That's your text tone?
Yeah.
Dear fuck.
I'll give you $100 if you tell me what song that is.
You'll give me $100?
$100.
All right. Well, let me download that app, and you'll have to play it again a few more times, and you can owe me $100.
So.
All right, friends. Here we go. And that's how we start.
Is that a mason jar?
That is a mason jar. Whoa! this shit smells serious. This is why Mom is becoming a man, because I don't drink shit straight.
So we're off to a rocking start. Electrifying. You just. Yep.
Woo!
Does it hurt?
Woo!
So Pettet, his wife said he wasn't a man unless he popped this bottle of scotch on air and decided to start drinking.
She said, actually, I said, man, I gotta get some Coke to go with this. She said, you just bought a $55 bottle of scotch. You're not drinking it with Coke. Become a man. So.
Serious business. And that's why his byline is becoming a man. You know, you don't have to, guzzle it like you do. That's terrible.
Ollie says I need ice. Go get me ice.
Ooh. So we're at 86 of Sean tonight. We don't know where he is. He's MIA.
Yeah, sad times.
Yeah, we tried everything. We delayed the podcast for 30 minutes, trying to get us a Sean, and we don't have one.
Called his son.
Yep, to try to call his other son to go get him.
Yeah.
Not the first time this has happened, though.
No, it's not. It's not.
Aaron's in. Boom.
It's the curse of working nights, I guess.
Well, you don't want people to tune in and be like, is he under a bus somewhere?
He might be under a bus somewhere. We have no idea.
I did not even start the fucking timer on this shit.
It's fucking A, dude. This is gonna be a night.
No. I just started drinking. I'm sober. So it's gonna be good. So, Pettet, what have you been up to since the last time we had a podcast? It's been 2 weeks. We do this you can either say bi-weekly or bi-monthly. I looked this up, trying to figure out what it was after Sean like made fun of me for
Bi-monthly, bi-weekly, be twice a week.
Yeah, I think it's bi-monthly.
Aaron says
Bi-monthly.
I say the same as Aaron.
Bi-monthly. I say bi-monthly. Sean made fun of me for calling it that, and I think you laughed as well.
Really?
Yeah, I think you did.
I'll have to go back and look. I got new internet, which you might be able to tell. I hope you can tell, because my camera should actually be not so fuzzy now. So I got new internet.
Fuzzy, there's a sock in it.
Well, there is always going to be a socker. That was your idea. So that's what I've done. That's really all I've done. I've geared a couple tunes for PvP, trying to play my boom kit again, which is sometimes fun and sometimes very fucking aggravating. So other than that, that's really all I've done. I've played some PvP and got new internet. Hooray me!
Aaron, what you been up to, Aaron?
There's one of the holiday weeks for pet battling, so that was 1 week.
So you do that? You do a lot of pet battles?
I took advantage of it, but I don't know, not a lot these days.
Is it time walking this week?
Time walking this week, yep.
Nice. Is it Burning Crusade? Shit, I'm already past Burning Crusade on my Warlock. Is it? So it's Wrath of the Lich King next week.
No.
If you're past Burning Crusade, you could still go back in time on Burning Crusade.
You have a good point.
Wrath is like another 2-3 weeks, depending on how you count it, and I'm not good at the counting. Middle of the month, 21st.
Oh, my ice has arrived. My ice has arrived. You're such a wonderful wife. You are the best. Around. Oh, we can move on. I'm just fucking around here.
All
What
right,
have you been up to, Eric?
I've been
Thank
doing
you.
actually a lot of PvP. Trying to learn how to use the rogue effectively in a threes environment.
Yeah.
That's pretty important for what we're trying to do. Oh man, why do I do the thing? I thought we went over this last week.
Yeah, well,
I'm not even drunk.
we're not doing the fucking drinking game, so it doesn't. You do all the umming you want.
Right, and oh, you're backing down because you can slow down on that.
Do I? It's so much better cold.
I don't know. I've started writing some articles. I got like 4 or 5 articles in the works. The editor was a little late getting this last one up. But,
Oh shit! She's gonna kick your ass just for saying her name.
no, I mean she promised me Sunday, but in reality it was like Thursday.
You just have to email her winky faces.
I text her. I don't email her. I text her because we're that close.
Okay, well I email her winky faces and she's better about getting my shit than your shit.
Yeah, right? Because you emailed her Friday morning and she had your shit done by like Friday noon. I'm like,
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
winky face.
Yeah, she said, I found some spare time at work. I said, winky face.
She told me she couldn't get to it. Like I sent it to her last week. She said she can't get to it till Sunday because she's going on this retreat with her company. And then Wednesday, just playing. No, she has a lot of stuff to do. And outside of the game, it's just been fucking busy. It's just super busy. Work just takes too much time. It really sucks. It sucks in a way to be in the oil field on the oil patch right now.
The oil patch.
The patch. Speaking of which, there was a restaurant somewhere in Utah that was called The Patch, and because it's in the middle of an oil field, and that's where everybody went. Anyway, it was a terrible story.
Cool story, bro.
Absolutely,
Cool story, bro.
terrible. Anyway, no, you have to. Everybody's downsizing, so if you're left there, you have all the people got laid off before you. You have all their responsibilities, and they expect you to get them done, which sucks.
Isn't that the story of your life? Your oil patch life?
That's pretty much the whole patch. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Okay.
It's depressing.
I don't think anybody wants to talk about it, FYI.
So, moving on.
On a side note, we'll know exactly when Womp runs out of ice because it'll stop making noise
Oh, is it? You can
whenever
hear
he
this?
drinks.
My fuzzy isn't. Oh well.
About your fuzzy,
My
aka
fuzzy.
your children's sock.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if
It's
fuzzy.
well, there it is. It's the owl day.
You look like a retard.
I am a retard.
So, last week's podcast, apparently we're all drunk except Baird when we started.
That's kind of the usual.
No, it's not.
It's just the
usual.
quantity of drunk.
No, we don't want this to happen because I personally, looking back at it, was not very happy with last week's podcast. I was like, oh God, it was so terrible.
Well, you did fall out of a chair.
That's not during the podcast, no.
It may not have been during the podcast, but
Definitely wasn't during the podcast.
you fell out of a fucking chair.
No, you can't tell me that. I don't believe you.
I don't have to tell you. I could show you.
I'm pretty sure I did it on purpose. But yeah. So
Maybe. I thought maybe.
So
I think the question is, what was your purpose after that, then?
Yeah. What about waking up at 5:30 in the morning on your fucking tie?
on the floor, that was on purpose. I'm pretty sure I laid there on purpose.
Certainly, I would try not to break rule number 1 because that's what happens later on.
Your story isn't adding up, bro.
I don't care if it does or don't, but maybe it had a good point. Me and you started this rule number 1 thing to prevent things such as this podcast.
Yeah, and I broke it today. I had to take a nap.
Yeah, but you're an old person. You fell asleep.
I
It's
was
good right now.
I was drinking Sam Adams Oktoberfest at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oktoberfest, I love them. They go
Oh,
down so easy. Once it hits your lips.
that's my favorite beer. Oh, I haven't had nearly enough of it this year. It's my favorite beer of all time.
Adams?
I really
Impressive.
Oktoberfest. Sam Adams Oktoberfest is my favorite beer of all time.
Sam Adams has a good Oktoberfest, but it's not a great Oktoberfest.
I don't know, man. It's the best I've ever had. No, I'm not a connoisseur or anything like that. I haven't like traveled the world looking for a good Oktoberfest. But Sam Adams Oktoberfest is pristine as far as I'm concerned.
They are not a paid advertiser, so let's go ahead and pump the brakes on that. There it is.
So let's just be realistic about this for just a second. Can we just be real for a second?
Oh, rule number one, realistic?
Yeah. I mean, are we ever really gonna are you ever really gonna get to a point in your Saturday where you're like, well, I gotta turn this beer down because I gotta be sober for tonight.
I did that today because I'm committed to this thing.
Oh yeah, you showed so much commitment last week when you were a fucking hour and a half late.
That was not my fault. I was at a wedding. I lost track of time. I told the wife we had to leave. And then all of a sudden, like, I get the text that says, "Where you at, bro?" I'm like, "Oh, shit, we got to leave." And she just gives me the,
You're not ruining my good time, sir.
Nope.
That's poor
I don't-
scheduling.
I don't get out a good time. You're watching the kids and seesawing with them on the children's seesaw?
Aaron makes a point. I mean,
What'd you
you
say?
didn't know you had a podcast coming up. It's kind of like you probably should have had someone doing your schedule because you clearly don't do a good job at it.
It's not proper etiquette to call up the bride party and tell them you got to time this wedding thing.
Right? Be like, "Hey, I got this thing. Can we schedule this?" But I did break rule number one last week because I started drinking at the wedding and like started drinking pretty heavily and raced home where I logged on drunk and continued to get more drunk. No, I'm not lying to you. During the after party, I popped a whole nother bottle of wine and drank this much of it.
Really?
Yeah, gone, son. Couldn't handle it.
So far, this podcast has been pretty depressing.
It has been. I agree. Sean, where are you?
All right. I don't know I don't have anything pretty to throw up in the air like sparkly stuff.
I have ice.
All right.
Yay!
So basically, Eric's saying, let's get the fuck on with it.
Yeah. And Eric's
So,
right.
we definitely need a name of the podcast. We don't have one. Casting the shit, as we notated like a month ago, is not working for us.
It's dumb as shit.
Yeah, it's very dumb. But we're trying to find the perfect thing. Honestly, the name of the website, it took so long for me and Pettet to figure this out. It took like 2 months to figure out the name of the website, didn't it?
Yeah, and then we were both finally like, all right, that one's good enough. It wasn't like we were in love with it. It was, that one's good enough.
Yeah, pretty much, because we were mad. And
We just needed something.
that's what we got. So we brainstormed a couple of things, and we'd like people to maybe comment on what they think it should be, the name of this podcast. I texted everybody in the group text calling it the Empty Bottle, for several reasons, because we drink.
I really like that premise. I love that premise.
Bottle to empty before you start. That's the point of rule number one.
Exactly. No, not exactly.
I love that premise. I just don't love the verbiage. I think that we should make it more WoW-y.
Yeah,
What
there's
if you
no
have a
outside
bottle as a
whatsoever.
timer, and as it ticks down through the podcast, it empties?
That's such a great idea. Aaron, you're a fucking genius.
That's why we have her on the podcast. We snatched her up pretty quick.
That's right. Before someone else could.
Right.
So, are you gonna go through the empty bottle?
And so Aaron suggested empty rum bottle. There's a link apparently to a Wowhead link, empty rum bottle.
Some old
is that
fishing gray.
Ah,
Ooh, you can fish it up,
fucking fishing. God, fucking damn fishing.
right? And several things like in our group text, we went through a couple of these, and
I like something like, I don't know. I don't love the tipped tankard, or that sounds horrible coming off my. I haven't said it out
does.
loud yet. It sounds terrible.
oh yeah, I said
But
it out loud.
it's
immediately. I was
wowie.
like, that's terrible. No,
Even something you wouldn't mind wearing on a T-shirt.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll wear
Maybe.
pretty much anything on a T-shirt. It's
Except a penis. Nah, I'll wear a penis. I'll fucking put a penis. Put a penis on my t-shirt. Hey, all the fucks I give. Look at them. Look at them all.
man, the vascularity in your forearm.
Hmm.
All right.
Oh.
So we have the unfilled tankard that someone came out with. I can't remember who said that.
I don't know.
I don't like it, not so much.
I don't like it either.
Our friend
Sledge.
Sledge. Yeah, go ahead.
World's End Tavern. I kind of like that one. I kind of like it. It's just not like.
I mean, there are other inns. They just did a thing for the Brewfest recently where they listed a whole bunch of them people, like talk about their favorites or something.
And then I know.
Like the favorite bars, tavern things.
Yeah. You could take your favorite one and put the background music on.
And then I know that there's a tavern somewhere in the human starting zone where on an RP server, or maybe
It's just
even,
called the Goldshire Inn.
it might be the Goldshire Inn. I'm not sure if it is or not, but there is an inn somewhere in the World of Warcraft where it's a notorious ERP place. Like if you go in there, you're expected to ERP on certain servers.
It's ERP. Like the first time I heard about this ERP shit was in our precast before this podcast. I'm not lying. I didn't know this was a thing. Honestly, I didn't know this was a thing. I can see it.
Did you look it up? Did you look it up?
No, I kind of know what like exotic roleplay means. I kind of figured what. I got imagination and life experience, so I could figure out what it is. So, what's the name of the town? Is it the Goldshire Inn? Like Goldshire. That's where that's where all the Alliance people PvP.
Yeah. That's where they go to duel.
Depends on which server you're on. Depends what you do.
I think everybody pretty much does that one.
I need to find the link. There's like a top 10 weird things in WoW. I think maybe it's by Danger Dolan, and it lists that as the place where people go to ERP the most. So I would like to find out what that's called.
It spawns more people showing up because they heard about it and they just want to see what it's like there.
Could be. I would be interested to go. I haven't gone there yet. Maybe I need to log onto that server and make a human chick and take her clothes off.
Would be better if the server was not PvP and you did a Blood Elf chick and then went over there and danced on their mailbox.
The guards will still try to eat you.
Mm-hmm.
There's guards in Goldshire? I don't think so.
Yeah!
Pretty much every little town.
Yeah,
it's actual town.
Oh.
Just like Brill for Undercity or...
But they're not very powerful. I always typically kill them, I thought.
They tend to level them up every expansion, though. Against a level 1, though. They're pretty deadly.
Yeah. Gotcha. As long as you don't flag PvP, they won't come after you. Yeah, that's the big... If you start a ruckus, then that's when they come after you. That's it.
You're talking about neutral town guards. This is not a neutral town.
No, but if you're not PvP, they're not going to come after you. They don't just hang around, do they? All right, fuck it. We're off topic.
Kill tunes and run over.
We're off topic.
Eric, I need you to drink more.
What are you talking about?
I need you to chug.
Nope, I'm not. I got to do shit in the morning. I gotta do shit in the morning. So I went on this fruit vendor kick for names for the podcast. One would be if the fruit vendor drank. I thought it was funny. Fruit vendor
I don't get
drinking buddies. What?
I don't get this.
You don't know who the fruit vendor is?
The trouble is, the theory is that he's dead.
I don't get it.
because there's a skeleton out by the apples.
Is this something I should know?
It's from Burning Crusade. There's a guy called
You don't
Crow
really-
Threadstrong who keeps yelling about a fruit vendor who won't move his cart.
Oh, okay. Well, I
How do
didn't
you not
play
know
all-
who their fruit vendor is?
I didn't play a lot of BC. That's the expansion I skipped.
He's also a guy in the inn who, if you do his quest, you get an apple toy that you can crush.
Nah.
You throw the apple, it destroys itself when you throw it.
That's true, yeah. Remember that one. Wow, this fruit vendor thing, you just stomped all over it because you don't know what the hell we're talking about. If Sean was here, we would know.
If Sean was here, things would be so much better.
Alright. So, fruit vendor posse.
The fruit vendor posse.
Mm-hmm.
If you did anything with fruit vendor, you should probably also put it in all caps.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But I'm not feeling the fruit vendor right now.
Not really, no.
I felt it earlier, but I don't feel it right now.
You're
You
welcome.
fruit earlier.
Yeah. I like to throw my ideas on paper and then come back to them. So we have Captain Rumsey's crew from the Captain's Rumsey Lager. Captain Rumsey Lager. Yeah.
Who the fuck is Captain Rumsey?
You don't know, but he has a fucking lager that you cook whenever when you first go to Ratchet or some shit.
I don't believe he's an actual NPC, but he is referenced.
Yes. And then my favorite, I like this one. The Sulfurian Slammers. The Sulfurian Slammers.
Listen, you got it out the first time. It was okay. Your mouth didn't match the words, but it sounded right.
Okay.
Makes us sound like we're active, like we just don't sit in front of the computer and play games.
I don't
Is that a
understand.
good thing or a bad thing?
All Sulfurian Slammers, are we referring to shots now?
No, it's an alcoholic beverage in game, and we could make a Sulfurian Slammer. Every time Eric says we slam a Sulfurian Slammer. What are you taking a picture of?
Nothing. But check that out. Boom, baby.
Is that your
Boom.
new phone?
No, this is an iPhone 4S that I replaced because I showed this in one of my my fitness vlogs, but yeah, I just fucking mangled this thing in the parking lot at work one day. Yeah, so I'm back to the iPhone 4S, which, this seems to be a thing, right?
Maybe you should buy a case that only costs like $20.
Wayne, I have a sock because last week I had a sock because you could hear me breathing, which I don't like, and I had to have a fuzzy, and then Aaron was like, "Oh, you should get a different sock for every podcast." I was like, "That's a great idea."
It is a great idea, but I'll be right back.
So Sulfurian Slammers, it's a drinking game.
I'm saying he can turn it into one. You can turn most things into a drinking game if you try.
No, he said
That's
it's a bottle that you can drink in the game.
There are quite a few beverages in game.
I've never even heard of that. Of course, there aren't a whole lot of well-known drinks in game. There's just a bunch of them, and I don't know. No, none of those drinks in game you're going to name your podcast after, and someone's going to go, "Oh yeah, I remember that drink."
But Sulfuron, at least, is more a Warcraft term as opposed to
True story.
non.
True story. I want to do something with Plugger, but like the Barman Shanker or something. But it's really hard. I've tried to work it into some sort of catchy name, and maybe I'm just not crafty enough to do such things. We're not role
Look at what kind of
models.
drops he has.
Is that really a name that's in contention? We're not role models.
It's up there. I like it. I do like it. It fits us so well.
It's a disclaimer, and it describes us so well.
It doesn't work as Warcraft unless it has logos with it, but
Yeah, for sure. Like Aaron's, like last week when Aaron had
Yeah,
all
that
stuff
one.
up there.
I just
We're
have this
not
on tap now.
This is not a quest from a quest that says this is not a quest, right?
Yeah, I mean, it actually does exist, but
I like it. It's
not entirely unprepared.
if it's not a quest, then we can't actually fail it, right?
It's like a troll quest. The description is, we need help, but not from you. Completion. Haha.
Yeah, I mean, this is the one that if you're in Palador and you see a quest on, like in a little town and you run over to her, that lady,
Feet.
that's her quest.
Actually, that describes this pretty good. It's a lot of lead up, and then it's like, boom, that's it. I get this shitty pair of boots I can't even use. I don't get XP.
Listen, the only time
I
you're
don't
ever
get
going to get anything worth shit from us is if you go to the fucking, oh, what was that place that we went to and we crashed? Oh my god, I don't have any questions, sir.
Oh, the World of Podcast Party.
Yes! That's the
Yeah.
only time you're ever going to get anything from us.
Yeah, no, yeah, we go at that pretty hard.
We fucking hit that. Aaron was so happy with us.
Hmm.
Most of the time I spent trying to figure out where you guys had wandered off to keep an eye on you. You'd be like, oh, he went off to the bathroom or something. Are you sure? I don't see somewhere else.
Aaron, we were so terrible. Aaron's mommy instincts kicked in.
Wow, I didn't even
Well,
know.
I convinced you guys to go out to like end up getting dinner. You guys went and got your pizza.
That pizza.
The pizza was so entirely fantastic. We need
So
it.
good.
But we're off topic again, damn it.
Okay. Anyway,
We need to get on with these.
not
I like this
entirely unprepared.
That's a quest. I'm not happy with that one. But the next one, Warcraft, the Drinking Crusade.
Now listen, this is the first time I've heard this. I actually got some tingles right there.
Aaron put that in earlier on the precast. While we were doing the precast, she was typing all these in here.
I have some
I like
tingles
that.
I was
right
typing stuff and I was eating dinner.
Aaron,
Right?
I have tingles. Just so you know.
Tingles. It's disturbing on multiple levels.
It's moist.
You can't say that.
Not role models, not role models.
You can't use the word moist.
You can't. You can't. Whew. Well, now that we lost all of our women viewers,
Yeah, why am I here?
well, you're not a viewer technically. You voluntarily participated. in this
Listen, Jewel just laughed her
shit
ass
show.
off.
Yeah, Jules did just laugh her ass off.
Yeah, but Jewel's different.
LFR, the Mythic podcast. It's so it's defeatist.
Oh,
At the same time, what's going on?
Jesus Christ! That kicked me right in the ass.
Well, what you just typed?
Mm.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Woo!
I kind of hope we would PvP tomorrow, but if you keep this shit up,
Yep.
you're not waking up.
I may not wake up ever.
Oh man, this is gonna like the worst thing I've ever had.
Listen,
Awful
family, I love you.
Podcraft. Yeah,
Sounds
we'll
spacey. I was just trying to combine words at that point.
yeah. This is I can reach it. Now we're gonna list all these, and people can comment and vote on them.
Spec into podcaster. Eh.
After the Warcraft, the Drinking Crusade, everything that's hard to top right there.
Yeah, dude, that's the hard one to follow. That is.
Drunk on Warcraft.
That sounds like a teeny bopper song.
I don't care. I think it fits us.
No, it says Drunk on Warcraft and more.
Oh.
Rumble in the lumber
and more.
mill. Also a quest. Look at LFM. I like this. I like this. LFM women viewers. I like it. I approve. Can that be our subtitle?
Maybe that could just be the title of, instead of becoming a man, I'll just say looking for more women viewers in the year.
Perfect.
All right, well, that's we can put them up on the we'll put them up on the 3NKLM website, and y'all can take your vote.
And the YouTube on the YouTube link too.
Yeah, we'll put it on the YouTube link, comments and yada yada.
Mm-hmm. So on to the hot sheets. Highmall nerfs. I mean, HFC nerfs.
Hi, Mom. Jesus fuck.
Right, dude. It's been a long Saturday, lazy Saturday.
Yeah, you should have went to B-dubs and got drunk and then took a nap.
Well, not everybody can do that. Most people usually just soldier on and continue, but old people like you decide to go take a nap.
I got nothing.
The biggest question I have is, who saw this coming? Ari, did you see this coming? Like, did you think
I didn't expect it, but I can understand why they tried to do them all together like that. Like they're trying to gear it for a certain target audience, but it does seem like quite a lot of nerfing.
Are you talking about the nerfs? All the nerfs? Who saw those coming?
Yeah, well, it happened Friday. Or is it Thursday?
Yeah, what the fuck was that all about? Why were they patching on Thursday? I'm so pissed.
The hot fix, dog. Hot fix.
Yeah, well, it hot fixed me right out of the fucking game.
It was Wednesday. It was Wednesday. This past Wednesday, September 30th, they hot fixed pretty much normal mode Hellfire Citadel.
What's interesting though is that in Draenor so far, it has been that normal and heroic are very different, except for just like the damage numbers.
Well,
yeah.
Unlike previous.
No, not so much. The whole point was that the heroic didn't add any extra. The only fight that added extra heroic wise between normal and heroic and HFC was the very first fight when they added the extra demolisher that did the AoE thing. That was the only difference between all of them.
Yeah, and so area there tended to be a spell additions for heroic, or rather, they probably designed it with those abilities and then took them out for normal.
Yeah, I mean, when we first started progressing, my idea, because once we got inside, I thought the skill cap, well, basically the learning curve went up dramatically. We had a lot of problems. I thought we were gonna walk into normal. I thought we were gonna because we were heroic, black, what's it?
Rock Foundry.
Yeah, Black Rock Foundry guild. I thought we were gonna walk in, smoke normal, and then go straight to heroic. But that wasn't the case. Wasn't the case at all for several reasons.
Well, it scaled up. We lost some people, and
and a lot of the reasons why they nerfed a lot of these fights are the reasons why we couldn't just steamroll normal like we did in BRF. And that's some of the stuff we're going to talk about here in a second.
But it did kind of seem like it wasn't just us that were hitting a bit of a wall trying to jump straight to heroic there. Other people had reported that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. There's a lot of people who had issues with what we talked to that people were friends with.
I like that model, actually. I mean, it is just much steeper, but I like the separation.
They also did degradiated eye level throughout the zones.
Yeah.
So I had one prepare you for the next.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of weird.
Well, no. Well, they said the reason why is because Blast Furnace and BRF.
Right.
Everybody's like, screw Blast Furnace. Once we get our 4 kills on Blast Furnace, we go straight to Blast
Never
Furnace.
go back. Yeah.
Right? So people skip Blast Furnace. It was an incredibly hard boss. It
was a fun fight. I liked
it. It was a tier boss, too.
Yeah, it was a tier boss, but everybody's like, well, everybody else gets your 4 set without
going to Blast Furnace, right?
Because it was literally the last boss you cleared before you got to Blackhand. Because it was just that high on the difficulty level.
It depended on your choice of wing, but yeah, most people were like, yeah, let's choose Blast Furnace last. We're going Blast Furnace last.
No, well, Gruul was the easiest. Gruul was the entry. Gruul and Orgorger was the
right.
entry. Well, Hans and Franz could be considered that. We're getting into the other section of the podcast right now. But
first last.
Anyway, they instituted the graduated eye level things on gears because they directly said because everybody just didn't care about Blast Furnace. They could skip the last hardest bosses. They had all the gear that they needed prior to that boss, and so it really wasn't worth it to guilds to sit there and attempt that boss.
So make harder bosses loot more appealing
Exactly.
and more useful to defeating to end one.
Yep.
Well,
Honestly, if they'd have just put weapons on Blast Furnace, everybody would have wanted that shit. Weapons and trinkets. Oh, that's all they drop?
Yeah.
Sure.
yeah, that's all they have to do to make incentive for bosses, which they're going to take that out in Legion. You know, that's not going to be a
The
thing.
thing
in
is, they
Legion,
tend to
but-
mix it up. So like there were trinkets that dropped on Blast Furnace, but they were just like healer trinkets.
Well, the tank trinkets off Blast Furnace were fucking amazing, but you know, it's hard to drag an entire raid along for tank and healer trinkets.
It's kind of a big deal.
It's hard to convince people that it's a big deal. It is a big deal.
Yeah.
It's hard to convince your fucking DPS core that.
That it's worth the risk.
Right.
Or agony or whatever.
I think the biggest issue was we should come back to this. We need to progress on our
We can come back to it.
Yeah, we're definitely coming back to it.
Well, we could start on the curve and then go to end on Hellfire and Hellfire. But okay, whatever.
No, we're going by the sheet, damn it. We try to make things up, we're bad at it.
Can't devolve into anarchy here. Nope.
No, we're trying, damn it. We're not having another one like last week. What's our time right now?
I can't wait to edit that out.
So they made a couple nerfs. Couple being a very huge understatement.
Yeah, like pretty much like 75% of the zone is nerfed now.
Right. So
I'm so pissed. Can I
A
just
lot of
get that out there?
mechanics that one person could wipe the raid with, they kind of nerfed those.
basically, yeah, it's everything we've talked about for the past however many podcasts. Is there's too much personal responsibility
Yeah.
in the raid.
Well,
This is how I know people at Blizzard listen to this podcast.
did you put there and lost your goddamn mind?
But we need to
No,
note up this
hell
as
no.
responsible now.
I know. Go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry. Please go.
I didn't hear her either.
All right.
What did you say, Aaron?
No, we are irresponsible now. No responsibility. Nope.
Yep, right, exactly. I'm okay with that. Like, all I've ever asked is for the good people. I like it whenever the good players can make up for the bad players.
You're always going to have the bad players. Not always. If you're a hardcore progression guild who wants to kick the people who aren't doing well, then you're not going to have to deal with the bad players. But if a bunch of friends want to play together like us, then, some people are going to be better than others, and that's just that's just the way things are.
There are underperformers in hardcore guilds, too.
There are, but not to the extent that a group of friends has to compensate for.
For sure, but whenever I would, on my shaman, when I would go with Jared's hardcore raiding guild when they were doing heroic stuff and wanting to push mythic, when I went in there with my shaman, I was upper 50%.
Yeah.
DPS wise, and there were people lower than that, and I had crappy normal gear. I didn't have heroic gear. I didn't have anything, and these people had heroic gear.
Yeah.
So they were doing a lot of carrying. It's anywhere you go.
There's a question of if they have to carry them on a skill level or carry them on a gear level, also.
Yeah, that's.
Hi, Jessica. Hi. Hello. Sorry.
You're doing shout-outs?
I'm getting shout-outs.
Shout-outs?
Yeah.
So they did two types of nerfs. They nerfed, like Aaron said, the personal responsibility and the shit that could kill other people, and then they just did some other random nerfs. Like High Council, they did I could see how this can maybe apply to both, but they nerfed Wailing Horrors by 30%.
I still think this falls into the people not having personal responsibility and trying to alleviate some of that pressure. Because people can't fucking see the ghost and move out of the way. It'll kill them, and then there goes their DPS. But Council's not hard, man. We fucking 4-shot that thing at the most.
We walked into it that way. Yeah, no, it's at this point in the game, it's a really easy fight.
Yeah.
We don't even use cooldowns for the Wailing Horrors. I mean, we do, We're not called out. People just use them willy-nilly. It's not coordinated at all. The only thing that we watch out during wailing horrors, we don't say. We always say. We do say that hey, move away from ghost. That does what? Absolutely nothing. I try to move away from ghost, but we still blow cooldowns, and the only thing that it matters is if there's a what's that dot, Arid?
The mark of the necromancer.
You're right. If someone's red and getting ticking real hard, we'll dispel them during that, basically. But sometimes we don't. Depends on who it's on and who can take the damage. But honestly, I see that this nerf is kind of out of line with the rest of the nerfs.
It's still avoid a damage that everyone could avoid, but they don't avoid.
Well, the only thing I think is the lower grade groups that didn't have a Resto Shaman, that doesn't have a Holy Paladin, or some kind of raid cooldown like a Tranquility, Healing Tide Totem, or Devotion Aura.
What the fuck kind of healers do you have if you don't have a raid cooldown? Like I don't.
Well, you have
Where are you at in your life?
This priest has Barrier, which is very localized.
Right. But you're not toting around fucking 3 disc priests. Nobody's doing that.
No, nobody is. I mean, you got 1 disc priest typically. Mistweaver monks, they got Uplift, which is 1 heal. It's in this situation, it's not the best CD for it.
Yeah.
Holy Priest, I don't even know what a Holy
Divine
Priest
Hymn.
Would it make it easier to run with fewer healers in general, perhaps?
Holy Priest had Divine Hymn and Lightwell.
It's normal mode, so the only thing I can think of is maybe people or either at this late in the game, these nerfs tell me one thing: it's very reactive, and a lot of the reactive stuff that I see is because Blizzard kind of overtuned normal, and I said that from the get-go. Is like there's obviously a clear progression path through HFC. You do normal. Once you get up to normal, like the higher normals, it gets kind of hard. Archimond, yeah, it's a pretty hard fight. Compared
Some of
to,
these nerfs also happen to LFR, right?
yeah,
Not all of them, though.
I think they all happen to LFR, didn't they?
Well,
they
a
all
lot of them
says-
don't exist in LFR already.
Well, normal and LFR, we don't. It's not a podcast about LFR, damn it. We're not even
No.
talking about that shit.
But trying to figure out which ones did get also changed to say, like, did they think it was just over like too hard in general for certain levels?
Is there really an LFR fight that's too hard? I haven't done HFC LFR. I can't even pretend like I did. I was staying the fuck out of that mess.
So the wailing horrors damage nerf, I can see it. The reason why, because it's one of the higher damage points of the encounter.
Yeah, but it's the only high damage point in the encounter.
No, the Mark of the Necromancer is probably the highest, and having the tanks do their responsibilities, which somehow one tank does great in that fight and the other tank doesn't do.
I love that fight.
The very next fight, he does awesome. I don't know. It's like, but you and Corey both. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Like, y'all alternate fights where y'all do great at. Like, you're great on this fight, Corey's great on this fight. Whenever one of y'all's great, the other one is complete dog shit. It makes me so mad. It makes me so mad to look at the logs and see that. Anyway, moving on.
I stopped looking at the logs.
Yeah, I could tell. And, yeah, I could tell. But that's alright. I got post that's gonna bring you back to logs.
No, it won't. It won't.
Yeah, well, you're gonna be known.
We'll
as
find out.
tank. So we have other nerfs. Kilrog, and this is a big one. Kilrog was probably one of the harder bosses there.
I hate this nerf. I'm so pissed about so many of these nerfs just because we had to learn to deal with it, and now people
No, when we move on to heroic, we have to deal with this stuff. We learn how to do it. I mean, look, all right. So like the Kilrog nerf, Heartseeker only hits the targeted player, right? Only hits the targeted player. Huge. It's like absolutely incredibly huge.
Means melee can stand like wherever they feel like.
Well, melee and ranged. Like we have one range clump now that kills the ads on both sides instead of splitting up the
You
different
don't
sides.
you don't even
maybe
need the
having-
orange mark anymore in the back. Like so just for reference,
Well,
we
there's still
put
the
the orange
distance it
marker
travels.
in the path or in the back of the room on the stairs for Heartseeker, and that's where people run for Heartseeker, and then it travels all the way, to Kilrog, and they kill it in that time. But if someone forgets that, it's inconsequential at this point.
I mean, there's still going to be a puddle.
No, we still want the orange mark in the back with the 2 side marks in between. We don't have to clear a path for it anymore.
Yeah.
People stand in the middle. We don't have one DPS group on one side, DPS and ads. Everybody DPS is ads now. It's not.
Yeah.
We don't have that divided up anymore. Nobody gives a shit. Everybody's just, we don't care. The only thing we care about is the death throws. That's all we care about anymore.
Yeah, and it does have less distance to travel, but they also nerfed the HP of the blood that spawns after Heartseeker. So I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's. I think it's a non-issue now. It becomes a non-issue as long as you kill the blood. It doesn't matter where the fuck you get hit with Heartseeker.
Basically made the fight LFR.
Basically, yeah, basically.
Nobody gives.
This is the theme. I'm so pissed about this shit. I'm so mad just because we had to learn to fucking do it, and now we're at Archimon, and then you're right. It will help us in the long run, but just fucking assholes.
No, I don't care about helping us. I'm glad we killed these fights before these crazy nerfs happened. I mean, it's just a matter of pride at this point. Gorfine, we always called him Hugs. What were they called, Aaron? What was
It's where he links 2 people together, or 3 people together.
Whatever.
I should have wrote the real name instead of Hugs.
I read blue lines.
You should have.
Shared fate. It's shared fate.
A responsible person would have written the real name.
Yeah. But let me scroll up. Warcraft, the Drinking Crusade.
I love it. I'm serious, Aaron. I think that's it for me. It's my favorite.
So one of the biggest sources of damage in this fight were the shared fate.
Yeah.
Where you had to hug the stationary person. That was the largest part when we were progressing on this fight.
That's what kept killing us.
Well, no, there's a lot of things that kept killing us, but
that was the one that consistently over and over.
Well,
you kept bitching.
May I finish talking?
Let me put it that way. You bitched about it over and over.
Well, because that was our biggest source of damage. We live logged it to try to figure out what was going on. That was a huge source of damage, and a lot of people weren't hugging. People were dying and getting sent into the tummy.
The tummy.
But I mean, once you get rid of having to go somebody else, because a lot of things could happen while that person's stunned. People in shared fate that could be in one of the purple swirlies, and so the people don't get there to hug, and they take a lot of damage. They die. Everybody else dies. People around them die, or they get a skeleton and shared fate. The skeleton gets there, everybody dies. It was really a pain in the ass.
It's just who would get on opposite sides of the room all of a sudden because they ran out of the purple void zone earlier.
I honestly think the other nerf is bigger than shared fate. I mean, I don't see it from a healer's perspective, and the skeleton nerf that it'll only hit the target that it's fixated on.
No, that's huge. That is a big one, but it's not as big as the shared fate.
Well, you think about how many times we would clump in the okay, feast is coming up, we clump to the middle, and then a fucking late skeleton will spawn and it kills half of the fucking group, and we have to wipe it. That's non-existent anymore.
Not as many wipes as we had due to shared fate fails. It's true. I mean, no, it's true.
I never see. This is the two perspectives. I never see shared fate. That never happens to me.
No, I know you don't. I'm a healer. I have to know everything that's going on. Like, honestly, healers are the new raid leaders. Tanks don't raid lead anymore because they got to concentrate on active mitigation because our tanks can't multitask.
You're welcome to have it, sir.
No, you let it go a long time ago, so I don't.
Let it go.
It's not yours to give,
Let it.
asshole. We're so far behind. Let's see what else. Tyrant. The auras for stage 1 and stage 2 have been.
They've been significantly reduced, yeah.
Well, it's the amount that it progresses over time, right?
With enough time, it will reach levels that it had before or whatever. Well, the fate it doesn't progress. It just is constant, right? So they
First
just
one.
nerfed how much that is in general.
That's what I was curious about. I thought it was just constant altogether.
I did too.
I think it is. I think they just nerfed it. Well, the
Nerfed
more,
how much
the longer
damage it
you're in
does.
motion, the more it builds up, and so I guess maybe it builds up slower.
Yeah, I think that's how I interpreted it. But I don't think it gets like if phase 1 goes on longer, like for 5 minutes. I don't think that the damage increases because phase 1
No.
has been.
It's not based on time anyway.
It's if you move further.
So what we're talking about is aura of oppression and aura of contempt. The aura of contempt being the bigger of the two mechanics. Because from a healer standpoint, and I thought it was very interesting.
From a tank standpoint too, that fucking aura is serious. I'm spamming fucking Dispel Harm all the time.
Yeah. Well, it's as a healer, and Eric could attest to this. What we do for our raid frames, what it's set up on people's health, keeping them topped off, and predicting what health they're coming in, what kind of heals they're coming in, right? So this, like, what was that Hellfire? No, Siege of Ogomar boss, Margok.
Yeah.
One of the shields, you mean?
Yeah, exactly. Everything that a healer has, everything they set up their UI to do to help them heal better, is all of a sudden just thrown out the window.
That's how Tyrant is?
No, yeah, it's basically it. Because when you get down to 20%, all you see in my raid frames is a bunch of gray. Because I have color different. Grays are I have a dark blue and a gray, and it stands out very, 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 very well. And so I get down to where it's like, where are people's health? I know where 100% is. That's all the way full. I kind of see where 50% is, but when it gets down to like to 20%, I'm just spamming everybody I can because I can't tell the difference between 10% and 20% is very
Sean's
small.
here! Sean's here!
Yeah, so a lot of the issue when it comes to there is making sure the tanks get healed because they're going to spike the most. Hope AoE healing handles everyone else, and really hope you have a cooldown available for when it does the hammer because that's going to hurt a lot of people.
Well, for Tyrant, I feel like I'm sure it's very hectic from a healer's standpoint, but even from everybody else's standpoint, seeing from my standpoint, from a tank's point of view, seeing my health that low it's scary as fuck.
Well,
Constantly, it's
you're
just fucking scary.
Once you're at 20%, you could get killed from almost anything.
Yeah.
You do anything wrong, you're gonna get killed. So you're scared to let anybody have any kind of gap. Okay, let's say that. Let's go down
So
to
there's
10%.
a ton of overhealing.
So at 10%, you're scared. You're like, anybody could die from anything, and so you're just exactly what Eric said. You're just overhealing everything, just so everybody has the biggest fighting chance they have. Because
it did feel like it would happen quickly.
Yeah, it did. It would. It's like,
But
oh my God, this person's 14%. And
So right there, damage reduction does more than the healing amount.
Well,
So
I mean,
people's
what I mean
health
by
can't drop
happen
anymore.
quickly is, I mean that you would be into 80% reduced health before you even knew the phase started, and then before you know it, you're at 40, and we're let's get this motherfucker killed so we can get through this phase.
Well, the phase does start not at 100. I mean, when it give it aura, it knocks you down to like 80 to start with.
Yeah, so it just felt like that progressed really quickly, but I didn't feel like it needed nerfed. It was just that was the hardest part of the fight, and if you learn to deal with that part of the fight, then you could kill the boss. I mean, we've wiped in the third phase one time ever, and that was like the second time we killed it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like just having a little bit more leeway just in the last 20 seconds of that phase would be nice.
Well, and that's what this does. Is basically we're gonna push her to phase 3, maybe at like 40 or 50% now.
Yeah, I don't feel like we needed that. I mean, I understand why they did it, and it did feel like it was pretty harsh, but we got through it, and we killed that. We 4-shot that boss?
Nah, I think we did less than that, but
yeah. So it wasn't like
I think we actually
a huge
two-shot it.
fucking deal.
But it's also only been recently with our current level of gear and such.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Now,
anyway, I don't. This to me, this is not like a personal responsibility nerf. This is, well, in a way it is because you have to move out with a D-bus. But anyway, I think this is more of a healer, quality of life, not panic type thing.
So it's more like the Wailing Horrors nerf den, where it's kind of reduced healing.
No, but this Wailing Horrors is not the whole crux of the encounter. The aura of contempt is the whole crux of the encounter.
It is.
This is where you wipe.
You're a crux.
Your mom's a crux.
There, finally, he chips in.
There he is.
You
Look,
just
man,
opportunity.
I'm getting my stuff together here because I just woke up. I had a really long week at work, and so I started my normal drinking time, but that was just enough of my body to unwind to go, you need to go to sleep for a while, and that's what happened.
Well, at least you got your horde hoodie on.
We were trying to get everybody. Pettet was calling Aiden to call Isaac to get you.
And Isaac's not going to go wake me up. He knows better.
No.
That boy knows what he's supposed to do, and he does it.
Hold on.
Jesus Christ.
In this case, would you have wanted him to wake you up?
Well, yeah, but at the same time, I'm not going to try to throw sections at him because that'll just confuse him.
Okay. So, Sean, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks. I see you guys got neat titles.
Yeah, we can tell you how to do
There's
that
always
later.
stuff like moving, drop head in and letting us wake you up with a phone call.
Yeah.
I tried to call you, but you don't keep your phone anywhere near, or you put it on silent or something. So
No, I just don't keep it in my bedroom.
I called you 6 times.
I see that. I see my phone blowing up.
He missed you.
Oh, I appreciate that. I really do.
So, Sean, we're going through the nerfs that they did on Thursday, the hot fixes. And,
See, I don't know if you can see that, but there are 54 text messages and like 20 missed calls.
we can't.
Can't, but we believe
They
you.
really missed you.
Yeah, I guess so.
Here's the biggest one to me in the whole nerf pile.
Let me preface this by saying we wiped on Zul'Harak for 3 weeks in a row. That was our hardest encounter to date as a guild. From High Mall to HFC, we have never spent this much time on a boss. I honestly thought it might kill our guild at one point.
I think we had 24 wipes, which is, when you compare it in method, to me, 24 wipes is not a lot, but
It's not.
No, but our casual guild, I thought it was really gonna.
yeah, exactly. I'm from the old school. You wipe until you get it, no matter how big it is or how hard it is. 24 is not a lot, but nowadays,
Or if we ran out of ammo.
24 is a lot. So what they nerfed is one, the imps don't spread when the orbs get out and don't hit somebody. They don't spread fire anymore. So basically, there's no imp interrupt rotation anymore.
Just get the fuck out of the way of the orb.
No, we don't even care if you hit the orb or not at this point.
Because the fire's not going to spread.
The healing is inconsequential.
Shadow Surge.
Right? And then the purple guys, what's it called? What is it called?
Something horrors or some shit. I don't know.
Creeping void. Whenever you get hit by the
Volatile Void Step.
unstable void fiends, volatile void step, that's a fucking troll. I didn't really know what that was. It no longer spreads the purple shit, the creeping void, right? That is these changes completely negate the whole encounter.
I don't know if it negates the whole encounter, but makes it significantly easier.
Here's what happens. You drop your green fire at the edge. It doesn't grow. It doesn't even come to anywhere where it used to be, right? So you have maybe
Oh no, it should still grow.
Mm-hmm.
On its own.
no, it only grows if the imp's balls hit it.
No, it still grows. It grows
over time.
naturally.
I don't believe you.
No, it does grow naturally, but it would also, the whole idea of the imp rotation is to keep the growth at a minimum. So you're still going to have it.
So we know where the growth is.
So
Yeah.
if the imps got a cast off, they would shoot an orb, and if the orb wasn't intercepted by a player, which would put a dot on the player, so it was bad either way, but if the orb wasn't intercepted by a player, it would, if it got to the end of its travel path, it would spawn green fire in that place. So it would mean more fire on the platform.
But what still happens, like if you took a Shadow Surge and you ran it out and you got a purple debuff on you on your way running back in from it, and if you got hit by one of those orbs, you would get a Shadowfell Explosion. That's still going to be a risk if you let down your guard at clumping up and stuff.
So now it's just avoid orbs. Just don't let them cast. It doesn't fucking matter. Just avoid orbs because there's not going to be a bunch of green fire if they do cast. That was the risk of letting them cast, is there's too much green fire all over the platform.
All right, so let's say that we only intercepted half of the orbs.
That's why we had the stun rotation, so that they didn't cast any orbs, ideally.
But they casted orbs.
Every once in a while.
Yeah. Right? And so that added to the green fire.
Well, yeah, and I was learning to compensate for not being able to get DBM to play the alert for the imp spawning again.
Well, and a lot of the times we didn't have three
Which was my own
separate
default.
AoE stuns or interrupts, so we would have to like ask for a shaman to throw a cap totem, which actually had more of a build-up time than cast time. So
what this means is, in the base level, less green fire. That's what this means.
Yes.
Less green fire.
And purple fire.
Well, that means less purple fire. So less green
less
fire
fire.
means... And
Altogether.
that's the whole crux of the encounter. You don't... So melee DPS don't have to worry about...
Black hole will still blow people up with,
right?
you know, if
Black hole's easy. Black hole's nothing.
Yeah, black hole's nothing, man.
Yeah.
If we don't have to worry about fire, dude,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, those big ads will drop like a rock, and you might as well just only cleave those imps down.
The
So
same
this
way
is
of the
a
concern of
monument.
if you get hit by orb and you have a shadow debuff, the same goes if you took a fell surge and you get jumped on by one of the shadow guys. That's going to hurt, so you have to make sure that they don't stand in the clump.
So basically, the crux of the encounter now, after the nerfs, is don't get both debuffs at the same time. That's it.
Well,
No,
that's
don't
always-
worry about fire.
So let me explain it to you. I'll break it down for you, right? So DPS goes up tremendously because we don't have to worry about it. One, interrupt rotation. Two, we don't have to worry about kiting purple guys. If the guys land on you, who cares? You're gonna get healed through it. Anyway, there's other damage going off besides that. The healing, the damage you take by getting hit by a purple guy is nothing compared to the fire that gets spawned after the purple fire gets spawned, right? So nobody cares if you moved out of that now, right? I'm just gonna sit there and tank it. Everybody's gonna tank it. We have less fire. The major issue of the whole situation was just keeping the middle clear of fire.
Yep.
You had to manage fire, and we had to do significantly less. I would say 50% less of that. That's basically, you don't have to worry about fire throughout the whole encounter.
This is probably the nerf that I'm most pissed about.
As long as
honestly.
people run out with surge.
Yeah, we started
It's
so
been
many
a
heroes
long
out.
time since I looked at any of the LFR requirements, but a lot of these make it feel like they've actually taken it down to the LFR level for
Yeah,
most of these bosses.
Well, these nerfs were LFR and normal, but yeah, I agree. I mean, the health pools are bigger in normal, but
Yeah, but man, if it's
Some of the changes are more LFR-like, yes.
yeah, and let's be honest, health pool is nothing, man.
Yeah.
Tank and spank. If I have a healer there that can keep a tank up, then what does health really mean other than judging the length of an encounter? That's all that is. It's all about mechanics. If you can't handle the simple mechanics, then you don't deserve to be able to win the fight. Period.
fair enough. But so this nerf, this and the Kilrog nerf to me are the biggest nerfs ever. It changes the whole dynamic of the encounter. It's clump up. Nobody gives a fuck about this shit that used to kill us, and we.
How you like that stuff, Pettit?
No, he's
Well-
been guzzling it.
Are you drinking it out of a mason jar?
I am.
He's trying
Yeah,
to be as
man.
straight neck as he possibly can.
God damn. I mean, I've put a little bit of a dent in it. A little bit.
So like the Zilhorg nerf has just completely changed the encounter altogether. It's like not even the same encounter as what it was. Much like the Kilrog.
That's true. It's not the same encounter as it was.
It's
But it does
LFR.
feel like it's making more like previous raids where heroic mode would add a level of difficulty, not just a level of damage.
Right. But,
It just took a long time to instate it in this expansion.
but this is also everything we've asked for. Well, everything I've asked for. less personal responsibility. The good players can make it for the bad players in this situation. And normal, which I think
Which is
what they're
vaguely what they're trying to make normal be.
exactly.
I like it from the point of view where, I guess this is really, I guess I like it because there's no real hardcore guilds out there that are stuck on normal right now. But I like it from the perspective of a bunch of friends trying to play together. I do like it from that.
I also don't like it being too easy, so it's kind of, has it been nerfed too far that it's not
Well,
anymore.
that's what Heroic's for if it's too easy.
Where it is basically LFR, but people you know.
But I'm honestly glad we learned the fights like we did, because when we go to Heroic, we're going to be there. Well, most of us will be there. Some people will still have a thumb up their ass.
God damn.
The last nerf was Archimond. Archimond has been nerfed time and time again. At the beginning of September, we had a nerf. And then at the end of September, we had like a just take it out fucking nerf.
A what nerf?
A take it out. Just like, alright, the nerfs to this mechanic didn't work. We're just going to take it out of the normal mode. So, what I'm talking about is like the living shadows that are spawned in the Twisting Nether? Is it Twisting Nether?
Yeah, when you go into the alternate realm or whatever and you come back, there's a void zone or some shit like that, and it spawns mobs.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
took that out.
Why is JJ sending us pictures of penises?
Is he really?
Yeah.
Yes! Oh, sweet!
Right?
This is the best day ever.
Yeah, my
And,
phone I'm glad you saw it first, and my phone just went off. I'm not looking.
Is it weird if I lick my phone?
No, it's yeah, it is weird. But you're not-
Depends on whose standards.
So
This
at
thing
the
is called, what the fuck is this shit?
beginning of
Liquid
September,
marshmallow. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm.
FYI,
You're off
we're like-
topic, yes. I'm pretty
we're
sure you
off
are.
topic and we're off time. We're completely off time.
We're always off time.
This is not even cool right now. So
One time we thought we were off time, but then we weren't.
we're not progressing this at all. I didn't really think it was going to take this long for this stuff. So Living Shadows is the mobs, basically the ads that we are facing in Archimon fight. One of the ads. In beginning of September, they nerfed their health and they nerfed their spawn rate. End of September, they just took them out completely from normal. Just gone.
We haven't seen him, so I have no opinion on that.
Right,
I
that's phase 3. We haven't even made it to phase 2 yet on Archimon on normal.
Yeah, we have. But so we've
Really
only
made
seen
it
it
well
briefly.
into it.
Yeah, we've only seen it briefly.
Like when you say briefly, we pushed over to like, all right, he's at 71% and he hit 70 and we're dead.
Yeah.
That's phase 2. The other thing is the Rock Chaos.
The shotgun blasts.
They took that out. You know what? That was gonna be it. We were never, our
Yeah.
guild was never gonna get that shit ever.
And if
No
we
one was
did,
getting that
it was gonna take a really long time. We were gonna have to have someone who was watching debuffs and calling somebody. That was the only way that we were ever gonna do it. All right, I'll just say it flat out. If Aaron didn't tell the person to get out, it was never gonna happen.
And at that, it probably wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, it would have been rough.
That was the part I was like,
I
we're
know.
never doing
I
this.
agree. I agree.
And
Bounce 5 times. We have to have 5 different players with personal responsibility at the same time. Yeah, no.
No,
I felt the same way about it.
We can't put the fucking green orb in the right place every time. We can't have people go to the right place. We can't have people come back to where they're supposed to be after kiting the orb. We can't have people just spread out whenever they do the purple upstairs debuff. Couldn't do anything in a fight. Oh, and you think you're going to have people coordinate who runs out and runs in and runs out and runs in and runs out and runs in? Like a 3-second timer?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I agree. It was going to be rough. I wasn't trying to like write us off completely, but I thought, yeah, it was going to be rough.
I disagree with you. It definitely wasn't going to be rough. It was going to be impossible. It just wasn't going to happen. It wasn't going to happen.
I had high hopes. High in the sky apple pie hopes.
Nah.
Well, I have a little bit different outlook on it. Look, we always get there. Yeah, we would have gotten there. It would have taken a lot longer than maybe more people that take this stuff more hardcore. But the fact of the matter is, this is the way I look at rating. You have your core group of players in any guild that get mechanics, that get what they're doing almost right away or in the shortest amount of time. Then you have your other group, and those players also have the ability to adapt on the move. So any anomalies or subtle changes, they're not going to get caught by them very long. Then you have your group of players that maybe is a little larger or is another part of the guild that they take a little bit longer to get that core encounter, but then after that, they take a little longer also to adapt to the anomalies. And then you have those other players that they seemingly will take forever, but eventually they get there. And the issues that you ever run into with the casual guild is that you have those players that rotate in and out that you have to learn to get all those things. And once that happens, then you have the encounter on farm. Now, the issue is that with the casual guild is you have so many of those players that have to rotate through or that do rotate through that it takes a long time to learn the encounter.
That's a great synopsis, Sean. I mean, that's extremely hard to argue with. You summed it up perfectly right there.
I've been doing this for a while, man. Well, not the whole podcast thing, but, dealing with how to know when an encounter is going to happen. So in our situation where you do have this issue with the players, sometimes we would get there. But you're right. It's going to take a while.
Dude, you're really sharp when you just wake up.
Sometimes, not always.
So I can't help but look at all these nerfs, and we've talked about a lot of this stuff in our previous podcast. And basically, I know that Blizzard listens to our podcast. Somebody at Blizzard is listening to us. They think these guys are the best. This is the average
that,
player.
or I pity these guys. Let's help them.
I don't like to look at it that way, Eric. Thank you.
Where did Pettet go?
Where did Pettet go?
Did he disconnect himself by accident, or maybe he got FAA'd or FCC?
We're probably not
He got his new internet.
We're probably not online right now.
No, I see live up there.
It says
Doesn't
live.
matter. Who's casting this? Oh damn.
The podcast doesn't go away. It just
Where does it go then?
it stays out there in the cloud. I don't even know what that means. I'm lying. I actually do know what that means.
Let's see. It says he went offline.
My net just died. His new network just died. Anyway, I think they probably put this in there just in case the original host, their network dies.
It's
Well,
still
essentially,
out there.
it's more a hosted Google side. The question is, I suppose, later on.
How do we get him back? That's the question.
Well, until his internet comes back up.
Well, we gotta progress a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Go
We'll
ahead, buddy.
progress under your assumption that people can still hear us.
All right. No, we're still going. We're gonna keep going without him. I don't know how to invite him. I don't know who's in control right now. I don't. He could invite himself to his own podcast. Like, he figured it out. All right. So where are we at on time?
Let's see, Archimon Nurse.
All right. So we did the Archimon nurse, and this obviously Blizzard listens to us because we've talked about this. We've harped about this for week after week after week. How many times have I said I need less personal responsibility from the player? And it's exactly what this is. We don't have to rely on people on the people to run the fuck out when they're supposed to, right? We don't care about that anymore. That's what this does.
Yeah, you're right, Eric. This is exactly what this does. I don't know that it should be any different than this or whatever. It is going to make the quality of life, but let's be honest, man. There has not been an end of expansion boss that Blizzard has brought out or put out that has not gotten nerfed into the ground from the time of release till the end of the expansion.
Yeah, well, it's.
But sometimes there's just that growing buff to the whole zone.
This is just normal, right? Heroic doesn't change anything. Heroic and Mythic are not changed at all in these nerfs. I mean, they nerfed those earlier, but this is not that. This is not
right.
that.
Well, and should they be?
Someone tell Pettet he's muted.
It's kind of the timing that's
Pettet,
weird.
You're muted. Pettet's frozen too. Pettet's dead again. Nice. And so, honestly, I feel validated in what we're doing here. Us in this podcast, we're affecting change in World of Warcraft. So
you're changing the world, Eric. One line of code at a time.
I mean, this is the great responsibility. We have a lot to live up to now because obviously people at Blizzard listen to this.
The problem is you say like you talk about letting less personal responsibility, and I don't remember much about that in previous.
You could go back and listen. I said it every time we talked about rating in HFC. I've said this because it makes me mad. It makes me so mad. No, I'm honestly, just go back. You just got to go back and listen to it. It's gonna be rough to go back and listen. It's definitely gonna be rough. But I talked about it almost every podcast. I don't believe you.
He's not back, dude. No, there he is. Now he's moving.
I see his
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you now, brother.
Oh, fuck my life hole. Jesus motherfucking effing Christ. I mean, fucking really, I don't know what the fuck just happened. I had to reset my router and everything. I was so fucking pissed off. I'm yelling at you guys. Why the fuck can't you hear me?
Hey, you know what the cool thing is, Pettet? The podcast went on without you.
I'm so glad. I thought maybe it would die because I'm the one supposed to be hosting it, but I'm glad it continued. So.
I checked it out on the on our website, and it was still going after you left.
Cool.
Internet doesn't care if you have internet.
So where are you guys at?
We are moving on to mercenary mode. We are not done with the hot sheets yet, sir.
Okay. I'm with you. I agree with Sean, what he said, because he agreed with me.
I appreciate that, Pettet.
So, we have mercenary mode. It's still not working as intended.
I feel like the Alliance is giving up on mercenary mode. I swear to God they have.
Dude, having done a lot of BGs since this is implemented, I really don't like it when we don't have mercs in our group. So there's a specific add-on. I'm not going to tell you which one it is, but it's.
You already fucking told him on the last podcast. Go back to podcast 4 and you'll find it.
You will go fuck yourself. If they had suffered through that shitty ass podcast, more power to them. They deserve to figure out what it was.
Man, you know what's funny about that? I tried to tell you all that was a shitty fucking podcast, and every one of you were like, "Oh, I felt pretty good about that podcast." Man, that's
because we're all fucking drunk.
I was so fucking pissed at the end of that podcast. It was so fucking shitty.
It was terrible. Anyway, I could tell that they're Alliance, and most of them say they're Alliance when they zone in, but it's still not working as intended. Druids will retain their shapeshift, the Horde shapeshift, when they go back to after they port out of BG and go back to wherever the hell they're from. Go back to their garrison in Shadowmoon.
Wherever the hell they're from.
I don't know what to think about Alliance.
I'm so pissed. I'm trying to gear my druid right now, and I'm just like, I'm over this whole merc thing. Like it was awesome at the beginning because they would actually join and we started winning more BGs, but now it feels like they're gone, and I still want to go back to I still want to go over to the Alliance side.
No.
Because they win BGs
and then more hordes started queuing up, and then there were less room for mercs in the first place.
It would almost be worth for me to pay $120 once, or I guess it's not quite that much, $110 once to switch over to the Alliance, get all my gear, and then come back. It'd almost be worth it.
How will the balance be in Legion now that they've been trying to do changes like this?
Yeah, I'm kind of holding out for that.
Well, and I have to wonder how much of this is actually people are, giving up on the whole mercenary, or is it that people went, oh, hey, something new. I'm going to try that out. Fuck, I hate it. And they went away.
Mm-hmm.
And they went back to, I don't know, whatever they're playing, Minecraft.
Not carrying people.
My theory is that the Alliance were like, okay, shorter queue times, I'll try it out. And they came over and they felt our pain for a little bit. And they were like, no. I'll take my longer queue times.
There was one healer druid that said, last time I ever fucking merc.
Yeah.
Last time. My first time and last time. And I was like, I don't blame you. This is the worst AB ever.
Yeah.
We were 5 captains in the first 5 minutes. Nothing I can do, bro. I'm sorry. But I honestly, from a horde standpoint, I like merc mode. I like when good players come and play on my team versus the horde players who, like, once they get Pettet and I were talking about this in the precast. Alliance players, when they get all their PvP gear, they continue to battleground. Once a horde player gets all their PvP gear, they say, next alt. I just got a freshly deemed 100 and whatever. Yeah, I'm going to PvP him and get some gear. And
I'm curious the idea if they add in rewards, like, if there needs to be more tanks or more healers, they offer more rewards. If they did something like that for the merc mode.
I'm so glad you brought that up. I yelled about this in one of my videos, one of my BG videos. Merc mode should have came with a built-in each team gets this many healers adjustment. Like there should never be a lopsided team, a lopsided healer. Like there are 3 healers on this team and 1 healer on this team. That should never be a thing ever.
It trips me out when I see an alliance healer, like a merc healer on our team. I'm like, didn't you queue healer to get a faster queue in the alliance? Oh, wait, hold on a second. Y'all always have 5 healers.
Yeah.
In a Warsaw Gulch. Yeah. Never mind. Yeah, I understand why you queue in horde. Yeah, you probably should have done DPS or tank. Yeah. I was an AB that had 3 horde healers and 1 alliance healer.
Really?
Yeah, we lost.
Did you win it?
No.
You lost?
Not so much. It was all horde.
If you have a good ratio of healers, you almost always win.
But it also depends on how they're geared and how well they are at
That's
PvP.
right.
Are they leveling an alt? Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
So, anyway, merc mode. We're talking about it every week. It's ours.
It's become a staple for the last 3 weeks.
Yeah. But here's the thing that I love about it is that every week that shit's still broken. Hey, guess what? Merc mode's out, still broken.
Still broken.
Weekly, every 2 weeks. 6 weeks in, 8 weeks in, still broken.
We're hot fixing it. Don't worry, we got this. What makes me...
That's what I did with Ashran. You know how well that's working.
Screw Ashran. Nobody cares about this. That's just broke. The only reason you go into Ashran is to get gear. You don't go in it because it's fun.
I won't even go in there for that. I'd rather do PG.
There's nothing fun about Ashran.
For anybody.
Nothing whatsoever fun about Ashran. There's nothing fun about Ashran. I know Blizzard listen to our podcast. We've proven this already.
You get free mage food if your mage guy hasn't been killed yet.
There is nothing fun about Ashran.
No.
Even when you're winning, like if you won 4 events and you go kill the dude, you come back.
It's just a fucking chore.
It's not fun.
It's just a chore the whole time.
The mark. Ashran missed the mark. Ashran, the only reason people go into Ashran is for gear, and that's it. Nobody goes in there to hang out and have fun. Ashran is not fun.
It was never really fun.
Here's fun, and the antithesis, Ashran.
Yeah, here's Wintergrasp, and here's Ashran.
I was having fun PvPing, and then Ashran showed up, and my fun went soft.
Yeah, Ashran's not fun at all.
Yeah, I'm going to add this, though, too. Ashran has been chewed up and spit out by the internet. It's completely crushed. I don't even know why Blizzard didn't just go, you know what, we're just going to pull this out. There is so much hatred for Ashran all over the web, it's not even funny.
And, the thing about it is if you looked at Ashran the way it started, the very first rendition, and then you look at Ashran now, the only thing that's the same is the terrain. That's it.
Yeah,
And I feel like Alterac Valley is like that too.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Alterac is like the scourge of the Horde.
Yeah.
I like the idea of the ones that took like 12 hours, but it wasn't necessarily fun. But I like the concept of like it was a long game.
It lasted for like 36 hours.
Yeah. Okay, but the original Alterac Valley, while it went forever, the Field of Strife was just that. It was two massive factions out there battling it out. In Ashran, the first version of Ashran was you had the Alliance pushing the main objective, and you had the Horde skirting the outside doing their own thing. So their changes were all to try to balance it out, but it ended up failing completely.
The first Ashran was Alliance pushed road or did events.
Yep, and they should have left it like that because it has not gotten better since.
No, it wasn't great, and it was horrible, but at least it was bearable.
It was usable.
Yeah.
It was serviceable for something.
People got gear, both sides got gear, and they were content. And now only Alliance gets gear.
Yep.
Road. Alright, we're going to go do this event. Alright, we roll up in there. Alright, we're also doing an event. Alliance comes in and wipes the Horde. Shit, go back to road. Alright, they got road. Oh, shit. They just killed our faction leader. Alright, we got 10 minutes before Crossroads spawns again. Everybody go to Crossroads. Oh, we got wiped there again. Fuck it.
Yeah, that shit was
There's
dumb.
better ways I can spend my time.
And Ashran is the perfect example that Blizzard has always favored the Alliance in PvP. I don't care what anybody says, and this is just the absolute proof of it.
So how does it
you down.
them over?
What's that, Eric?
How does it cause a favoring? Like, are you talking about pathing or?
Well, there's the reason, in at least from my perspective, they won to begin with was because of the way that your big boss that's supposed to assist you, it works. Theirs was a goddamn giant healer. Ours was, I don't even know what it was.
It's supposed to be a tank. Like, it goes back to that age-old fucking argument that healing is equal to active mitigation.
Yeah.
Ours was supposed to have killer active mitigation, whereas theirs had heals, and theirs was always harder to fucking kill.
Yep. Always. Even if you had the same number of healers, the exact same number of DPS, the exact same number of tanks, theirs was always going to come out ahead in the balance.
Yeah, they should have made both of them like tanks, and each of them have a healer buddy, and so then it's more even.
Yeah, they
Exactly.
definitely could have done it. They definitely could have done it better, but they didn't, and that's what they fucking do.
Alright.
And don't get me wrong, I love Blizzard. Let's just make that 100% clear.
Well, that's why we're here. I mean,
Well, there's love and there's addiction.
No, I love Blizzard.
Oh!
damn,
Blizzard heard it from Eric.
damn.
But no,
Eric just said, get down.
Damn.
Well, here's the thing in Merc mode that really upsets me is Alliance Mercs can whisper other Alliance players on the opposite team.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's some
And
bullshit.
twos, there's just less horde mercs.
I did not know that.
Yeah, this is crazy. And
Yeah, I
it's
saw that
very
complaint.
it's very sneaky how it happened. It was a tweet to Holinka. And they said something about the Alliance whispering other Alliance on the team, and all Holinka said about it was, "What do you or don't you like about it?" I'm like, whoa.
I guess the problem is like you
What?
want to be able to whisper people on your faction like on your friends list, but not other people who are in the same Ashran you are.
No,
Well, how hard is
Kind of
it to add somebody to your friends list, though, really?
Yeah, so the thing was, I think they didn't break it because you can still talk to your Alliance friends, but then the problem is it ended up that you could talk to people who were actively in the same fight as you.
I didn't know that.
Like they could just look and see, like, I see this person over this hill, I will talk to them.
All right, here's the
going left.
exact tweet to Holinka at Holinka. Merc mode is awesome, but one flaw. All right, so obviously this is an Alliance player because you think Merc mode is awesome. Why are Merc Alliance players allowed to whisper Alliance players on the other team? That was this question. Here's Holinka's answer. It says there's a reply back. It's no shit, verbatim. What did you like or dislike about it?
Well, I think at that time he didn't quite understand maybe what the question itself was,
I
and so
sure
kind of gave
as
a
fuck
canned
hope
answer.
How do you not? Like, my 4-year-old daughter read it and said, what? Oh, look, they're pushing mines.
And I didn't know you let your 4-year-old have a Twitter account.
Right? No, I just let her read it on MMA Champion.
She just proofread all your stuff.
So she's like, hey, look, farm's wide open. Send somebody down there. Send 2 people down there, and you got it, bro. Like, it's fucking bullshit.
That is
So people were concerned about people intentionally sending spies because once that was learned.
It ties into this next topic. Faction titles cannot be used as a merc. All right, so this.
There actually was another complaint based on the first one I could remember, which was people were concerned that people were queuing up as mercs just to sit in the base and do nothing.
Yeah, I can see that. Oh, yeah,
As I haven't really done any PvP in a while, so was that really an issue though?
Yeah.
Well, I think maybe
Okay.
about Ashran.
And and Asher maybe. And all my BGs, all the mercs try hard. They do.
I've
they
seen
try
a few players just sit up like the most memorable time for me was in Strand of the Ancients, and there were 2 players just sitting on the boat, and I mouse over them, and it's a fucking human warlock and a night elf rogue, I think.
I don't. That's pretty shitty.
Yeah, just hanging out.
You know, like the whole thing is, all right. So like this faction title thing, Blizzard says no, we're not going to allow faction titles. Most importantly, like is here.
But we're gonna allow whispers.
Yeah, all right. You could whisper. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. All right, so I could see who the Alliance are through raid add-on. They could whisper their faction mates. Most of them say they're Alliance when they get in, but what the fuck? You can't put your Hero of the Alliance title on because that ruins the immersion?
Ruins the screenshots.
Done. I'm done. That's like the dumbest shit I've ever heard. I mean, like, all right, we draw the line at fucking titles. That's what the line is. Really? That's the line. That's the line you draw. No,
You can't use faction mounts either.
No. You can't have your Alliance mounts. You can't have your Alliance titles, but you can have everything else.
But they do have their mounts. I've seen them on their horses.
Seriously? You've seen a
Well,
horse?
you can get a horse as a horde, man. Paladins have chargers.
Yeah.
No,
They're going
I've
from the
seen them on
Argent
their
tournament?
goddamn human horses.
It's the damn Palominos.
No, it's not the Paladin mount. I know what the Paladin mount looks like. Look at me.
Palomino!
I played this goddamn game for
It's
10
the
years.
Palomino. You know what a fucking Palomino is, you redneck son of a bitch? You know what horses are. The Palomino. The human alliance, the human the racial mount is the Palomino. Like, I just fucking blew your mind. Damn it. Alright, moving on. We're skipping everything else. Alright. This is a decision point. We're at 1 hour and 30 minutes. We could wrap it up.
You're wrapped it up.
We're going to the next section.
So it actually might mean the different types of ways that they classify the mounts. I just know that you can't use like the horde chopper.
What? Look, Merc doesn't even apply to horde. BTW.
Once I saw it open for Ashran, so I tried it. And I couldn't mount up.
And I've never seen
What?
it. I've tried.
You had an option to Merc?
Yeah, it was like the middle of the
Eric.
night.
Eric.
Yeah, the merc dude does show up in the middle of the night, man.
Eric,
In Warspring.
you have asked her this question before.
Yeah, brother.
There's no memory of this.
Yeah, no
There's
fucking,
probably a reason for that.
no doubt.
No memory at all. So, we've pretty much exhausted this topic, and we're gonna. It's an hour and a half. We're done
Dude.
with our podcast. We got to move on.
Come on, man. Just do the bonus footage. Let's go.
Let's do the bonus. What?
Bonus footage, you know.
No, that's all right. So we're gonna move on to the 1 hour mark. So we're 30 minutes late for. Why is there no Legion news? Why?
I think they're waiting because of BlizzCon.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. That's a month
Yep.
away. It's a month away. No Legion
You're not
news.
getting anything for a month, and then you're going to get everything. You're going to get a lot.
Dude, that's going to be the theme of BlizzCon this year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
it has to be. That's it. Well, you get the new StarCraft. That's gonna be a big deal. Heroes, it's a very ongoing.
They said they were.
political
Oh, you
everything
talking
going
about
on.
the Legacy of the Void, the last,
Yep. Yeah.
the last bit.
Yeah, that's getting released before BlizzCon, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So it won't be a lot.
Dude,
of time,
I'm in the beta for that. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm glad you're happy with it. But yeah, I mean,
God dang, man.
There's no Freud in the chat there.
BlizzCon is gonna be Legion. That's what it's gonna be.
Yeah, it will be.
Left.
I concur.
And so
I doubt they're trying to keep as many secrets
do
in
that.
terms of properties. They're just trying to keep secrets in terms of what's happening next in them.
Yeah.
well, what
We knew that.
thematical development where character progression lies. They're trying to keep all that. They've already said it. They said, and why they gave away too much. They told too much, and then they changed later.
Well,
They're
they
not gonna do
gave
that
away too much too early.
Exactly.
In
And,
this case, they're probably going to see a whole lot of art assets, I'm expecting.
and
that
too
are
early is before the specs dropped.
Well, they may have given away too much too early for WoD, but they had to because so much of their player base just did not like Pandaria.
Guess what? More of their player base liked WoD, the end of WoD, worse than they liked end of Pandaria.
That's true. They have more subscribers in Panda than they do in WoD.
WoD was like great, awesome until you hit
Launch.
100.
Yeah.
And then you're like,
What the fuck am I gonna do? I'm gonna raid. That's it.
I'm gonna raid. I'm gonna build my garrison. I gotta collect 2,000 garrison resources to build my garrison.
I'm really glad that I decided to raid in WoD because if I had decided to do anything else, I would have been sorely disappointed.
Well, here's the deal, like the story progression. And I got a post in the works about all this. One of the many. And look, you get to 100, and then there's like this, like awesome. You get this awesome story up to that. You get like character progression. You get story progression. You get everything you want the leveling experience, which is
Right.
completely awesome in WoD. It's like it has been the
Leveling is great in WoD, yeah.
but when you get to there, and then you're in your garrison, and then you're like weekly quest to progress the story. All right, every week, I got to come back here and get this random story part.
And that was to try keep it interesting.
Yeah.
No,
I like
it was.
I like some of the garrison stuff. Not all of it.
No, I mean I liked it too. The garrison cool. I do dig it, but the whole telling the story through the weekly garrison quest was so disjointed. It really separated the person from the story.
Yeah, I honestly, that wasn't how I got the story. Not through the fucking garrison. I would watch videos on YouTube and stuff to get the story because I was just so not interested in doing
Because you don't read quest
garrison
text.
lore.
A lot of the story was in the quest text.
That's a really fucking stupid way to tell a story.
No, hey, one of the dudes I work with says, that was their beta test for Overwatch, that, the storyline would be separated from the gameplay.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, Overwatch is different though. First-person shooter, you expect the storyline to be a little bit.
Overwatch is
In
mostly
a role-playing game, you expect the fucking story to be integrated into the gameplay.
Well, sure.
In an FPS, okay, I'll just go shoot some motherfuckers.
playing a role or playing a character.
Right.
Can I say that before WoD, my opinion of Grommash Hellscream was so much higher than after WoD? He's such a bitch now.
Well, that's part of the thing is to say he was a hero in our timeline, but in here he's a villain, and under different influences what he's become.
But if you read the novel War Crimes, you would know that the fact that whenever he infected himself with the fucking heart shit and they got defeated, he was half the warrior than what he was. So
Yeah.
They needed a quest text with that.
So,
Problem is sometimes when they go over too much outside of, like, there was a problem they had with was it Orgrim? Where like we had more storyline planned for him, but we didn't do it, and so instead this part of the storyline you do have with him, there's no connection to it.
yeah, I was so pissed about the Ogrim storyline. I'm like, Ogrim.
Why don't they have a novel about that one?
Doomhammer, and we get he's like rah, 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 rah,
He's a
motivating
bitch.
people, and then all of a sudden he's like, Black Hand, I hate you, and then he dies.
Yeah, so it's like I wonder what that expanded
How?
storyline looked like.
How is that Ogrim Doomhammer? How is
Yeah.
that? How is Blizzard giving Ogrim his just due from that? That's
We'll have
just
to wait till the alternate universe.
Oh boy.
For Grommash, to me, it hinges on two cinematics, or two key points, I guess. The Manaroth cinematic from Warcraft 3, and the I can't remember the dude's name, the big demon fight. They're besting you, demon, where he's fucking tied up like Jesus on the fucking
Zakoon.
like. That's just not like okay. He stabs Manaroth in the face, and now he's tied up and fucking rooting for us. Thanks, Grom.
If you
Thanks.
they completely changed the end
Not so much
of
rooting
Warlords
for
of
us
Draenor.
as he is just against that guy.
He needed pom poms.
Well, it's they completely
He's
changed
trying to
everything.
make
at
them
the
after
end.
the fight.
So they had a completely different story for Grommash, and it's one that once again I have a post on. Son of a bitch.
I've never actually played the previous game, so I don't actually have like much knowing about him except for like what was already in the game.
Well, they announced why Grommash was going to be the end boss. That was going to be the end boss. Grommash
That was one of
the
the things they
ultimate
were
guy,
worried about saying too early because they changed their mind.
right? However, they changed their mind and implemented it very poorly. All of a sudden, Gul'dan became the bad guy. Obviously, Gul'dan
Because
was
they
kind
want
of the
him to
bad guy.
carry the next
I like
expansion.
Gul'dan being the bad guy.
Well, I
But
did.
where the fuck did Archimonde come from? Like, that's just. I mean, I get where he came from, but it's just so arbitrary.
Now,
Well, that's what we're going to learn more in Legion.
Here's the deal with Gul'dan. Here's the deal with Gul'dan.
Gul'dan's always been a shady motherfucker, and
Yeah,
he's always
I get
been an
that.
agent
I like
of the demons. Archimonde has always been one of the high demons, so that's not a where did he come from. That's played out, man.
I
That's
get
what
that.
really is.
No, I said I get where he comes from. It's just like it felt like it came out of left field. Like, oh, Grom's good. Like Eric said at the beginning of the expansion, it's like, oh, Grom is going to be the main boss of the end here, and then it's just like all of a sudden we go from Blackrock Foundry where Blackhand is gearing up Gromash's army, and we're suddenly fighting Archimonde. It was
Well,
just
it's left field as far as the idea of the Iron Horde being the big bad guy, but in terms of how things actually progress, it does make more sense that they lose faith in him as leader and they want, what's next.
I guess it does.
And then
Okay.
Gul'dan's like, I got a plan, and it involves demons.
Now that I'm kind of talking it out,
This
and
could be a whole
thinking of
podcast, honestly. I think this could be a whole podcast. This is
well,
like-
now that I'm kind of talking it out and thinking about it, Gul'dan kind of did the same shit in the first timeline. He moved behind the fucking war chief's back and did it. It does make sense, I guess. That's kinda what he does.
Is a shady motherfucker,
That's
man.
kinda what he does.
Always has been.
Yeah.
My guess is that you're gonna he's gonna be in
140.
the starting zone, and then we're not
140.
gonna see him anymore.
We gotta start wrapping this shit up. Anything we didn't get to, next podcast.
All right, sounds good. We
Sean,
can do
And
that.
remember to take a look at the name suggestions and whatever.
Right?
I've
We want
posted
everybody
it.
to vote on that. Vote on the 3inklm.com.
Or add, more suggestions.
It's on YouTube,
Yeah,
too.
That's awesome. And at Want Donkey on YouTube.
Yeah, my link is fucked. I have to get 100 subscribers before I can request a custom link, so that's never gonna happen.
So if you like a title for a podcast, because Castin and shit's not gonna, I hope it's not gonna
It's
survive
not gonna
another
More
podcast
definition of
cycle,
what we're doing than a title.
right?
Yeah, it's definitely not our title.
We're doing shit. Is that really? So John, thanks for joining us.
You're welcome to start writing up the comments. So,
Right, we all should do that, really, for sure. But
So what do you think of the
Reviews?
players?
What?
I keep missing it, brother.
thanks for joining us.
Oh yeah,
Happy-
eventually. Yeah.
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 Sorry about that again. I'll come up with a better way to wake myself up on Saturdays if I have to.
Right on.
You want to do an after party, friends?
We're definitely gonna do an after party. But
Hell yeah!
this is it for me. Laters.
All right,
Hey,
till
fellas.
next time.
Thanks for coming. Toodles.